Sometimes the saddest relationships are not the ones that end badly, but the ones that never get the right chance to fully blossom. The 2023 film Past Lives is built around that feeling. Written and directed by Celine Song, the film stars Greta Lee and Tae Yu as Nora and Hae Sung respectively. The story centers on the two, beginning in their childhood years as best friends from Korea, who are separated when Nora's family emigrates to North America. Years later, the two reconnect and rekindle their relationship. But migration and time keep placing them just out of reach of each other. And yet, by the end, it's not just an ordinary depressing love story, but a hopeful one. To understand why, we first have to look at Yin Yun, a Korean concept that connects the ideas of fate and past lives, and the way the film keeps placing obstacles between Nora and Hae Sung.
There's a word in Korean, 인연. It means providence or fate. But it's specifically about relationships between people. It's an 인연 if two strangers even walk by each other in the street and their clothes accidentally brush, because it means there must have been something between them in their past lives. If two people get married, they say it's because there have been 8,000 layers of 인연 over 8,000 lifetimes.
Yin Yun is not just about romance, it's about connection through time. The idea that people in your life may have been in it before and may be again. What makes Past Lives so memorable to me is that the film takes that idea seriously. It uses Yin Yun as the entire lens through which Nora and Hae Sung's relationship should be understood. So here's the argument. Yes, their connection is real, but it's not ready to fully exist in this life. There's more to it than just their Yin Yun not being ready. First, migration separates them by place. Later, time and their separate lives built apart separate them. And even when their physical distance is completely gone, the cinematography shows how all of that history has compounded, keeping something between them in each frame. While the opening scene takes place in the present, the film quickly jumps back to 1999. Nora, then named Na Young, and Hae Sung are both 12, childhood friends in Seoul. They're going through one of the most transitional phases in their lives, and they're beginning to develop romantic feelings for each other. And then Nora's family announces they're leaving Korea. Not temporarily, permanently. When Hae Sung's mother asks Nora's mother why the family is leaving, she puts it as simply as she can.
버리는 게 있으면 얻는 것도 있거든요.
The frame doesn't frame immigration as a mistake. Nora gets a new life, a new name, a new identity, and a future she never could have achieved in Korea. But she has to leave her former life behind to do so, and with that life, she has to leave Hae Sung. Before time becomes the obstacle, place does. In a time before Skype, emigrating meant completely losing connection with anyone back home. Their Yin Yun cannot develop, which is exactly what happens. 12 years pass. And in those 12 years, they don't just end up in different places, they end up developing as different people. When they eventually find each other and reconnect, those same feelings come back, but neither of them is willing to uproot what they've built to close that gap.
난 이민을 2번이나 해서 뉴욕에 와 있어. 난 여기서 뭔가를 해내고 싶어. 여기에 있는 인생에 충실하고 싶은데 내가 맨날 서울 가는 비행기를 찾아보고 앉아 있는 거야.
내가 12년 만에 친구를 찾았는데
Reconnecting is not enough. Migration, the physical distance it created and the separate lives it forced, is what ends things the first time. Another 12 years pass, and what changed is not just where they live, it's who they are. The distance between them is no longer just an ocean, it's two fully formed individuals that have grown in completely different directions. When Hae Sung finally comes to New York, the physical distance is technically gone, but time has done something that geography never could. You can feel it in the way they talk to each other. There's warmth, but there's also distance. They're two people who once knew each other deeply, now catching up like strangers who used to be familiar. Nora's life is not on pause waiting for this. It's fully built and deliberately chosen.
This is where he ended up. This is where I'm supposed to be.
That line says everything. Time hasn't just separated them physically. It's made Nora into someone whose life is here, full, and complete. And when they finally sit down at the bar together, the film says out loud what time has already made true.
너가 기억하는 나영이는 여기에 존재하지 않아.
알아.
근데 그 어린애는 존재했어. 너 앞에 앉아있지는 않지만 그렇다고 없는 거는 아니야. 20년 전에 난 그 애를 너와 함께 두고 온 거야.
Migration and time have come together here, first divided by place, then by the lives that they built. Their in-union is real, it's just not ready in this lifetime. Once Heistung is in New York and the physical distance is gone, it may be difficult to show how emotionally disconnected they are. But throughout the film, director Celine Song and cinematographer Shabier Kirchner repeatedly place a vertical dividing line between Nora and Heistung inside the shot. It starts early and consistently appears throughout the film. Even when they're physically close enough to touch, the film keeps finding new ways to divide them. The camera pans between them rather than holding them in the same shot. A subway pole cuts through the middle of the image while their hands sit inches apart. The closeness between them is real, and so is the distance. But the strongest version of this comes here. They're boarding a ferry to visit the Statue of Liberty, and an American flag literally stands between them in the frame. It's a symbol of immigration itself, and it's not just the destination they're headed toward, it's part of what divided them in the first place. Migration is no longer a backstory, it's physically represented in the film's composition itself. Even the film's title card carries this same thing. The distance between the words past and lives mirrors the same dividing lines we've seen throughout the film. The emotional distance between Nora and Heistung that was caused by migration and time is made visible in every frame.
야! 나영아,
응.
이것도 전생이라면 우리의 다음 생에서는 벌써 서로에게 다른 인연인 게 아닐까? 그때 우린 누굴까?
모르겠어.
나도. 그때 보자.
This is the final scene of the film, when Nora walks Haesung to his Uber to go back to Korea and finally leave each other forever. The question it presents is what the whole film has been building towards. If this life is already a past life, then their separation isn't an ending. It's just one stage in something larger. The film doesn't promise they'll find each other again, doesn't even fully confirm that Inyun is real, but it leaves open the possibility for Nora and for the audience that love can transcend a single timeline. And that possibility is enough to make their final goodbye feel like something greater than just a lost or missed relationship. Overall, Past Lives is an incredibly painful and gut-wrenching film to watch because the timing never works. The characters are first divided by place, then they're divided by time. And by the end, even when they're in the same city, something still stands between them in every frame, whether it's a subway pole or her husband Arthur. But In changes how all of that feels. It makes their relationship feel bigger than one missed chance or one lifetime. Nora and Haesung's connection isn't a failure, it's one piece of a larger puzzle. A puzzle that doesn't have a set start or a set end. It just keeps expanding and keeps becoming something even more beautiful.